Melanie, for the Orioles this year, I feel like you can point to a day that things started turning around and feeling different. And that day for me would be the day Adley Rutschman got called up to the big leagues. And all of the hype, all of the eyes on him because he was this big super prospect and everybody was like, putting all of this pressure on him. And he has been so much fun and a big reason for the turnaround of this team. So I guess my first question for you, because I want you to talk about Adley, but would you also point to that day of Adley coming up to that's when things started to feel different in Baltimore this year?
No doubt. I mean, things were already starting to be pieced together to be different, but the physical production, the difference in, run differentiation, the number of wins they were bringing home, it all begins and ends with Adley. And I guess it shouldn't really be a surprise. I mean, this is a kid, he was a 1-1 for a reason. And you look at the numbers that he had built over his career, you look at the work ethic, everything that goes into the makeup of who Adley is as a person. And it would attribute to somebody making a big change like this. I mean, and you look at the numbers he has now for a kid with almost 1,000 less plate appearances than any other catcher. He's second behind Jose Trevino, and that's about it. I mean, for him to have caught up to every other catcher in the big leagues in statistical comparison, especially defensively, it just blows you out of the water. But this is another kid like Felix Bautista. He's not this wild, flashy guy. He comes from modest roots. His family has instilled the best work ethic in him. He's so proud of the fact that he models his catching after his dad, and that he feels like if you watch videos of he and Randy side by side, you see a lot of the same mechanics. And of course, everybody's favorite at the end of the day is the Adley hug. I think we'd all like one after a win. It's like the best feeling in the world. But no, it's no doubt he is the win producer for this team.
So he had that, he had a good first game. He got that first hit out of the way. And then it wasn't necessarily easy for him for a stretch there. But he's really propelled and progressed and putting together such a good year. I would have loved to see this over the course of a full season, but obviously, some stuff transpired before the season. But what has he done so far this year? What adjustments has he made from the day he got called up to where he is right now?
He's just kept a level head, honestly. We've asked him a couple times if there's been any changes. And he said, when you look at it, everybody goes through it. It's just a matter of training your eye to big league pitching. And something that I like that both he, Gunnar Henderson, and the rest of the Orioles who are coming up behind them mentioned is the fact that they've been taught to stay within their zone, to read their pitches, because as you move up levels, the pitchers don't get any easier. But if you start trying to get outside of yourself and those pitches you can drive, big league pitchers are going to feed on that all day long. They're going to get you to chase. They're going to expand the zone. And so he has literally just stayed patient in reading and understanding the way that pitchers are ultimately going to come home to him. And he got challenged, I think, inside for a long time. And then he started getting that bat speed a little quicker. He's got a beautiful swing. But once he started challenging those inside shots, he kind of evened the score. He became another normal guy at the plate. They were going to have to be able to rock in and out, to mix things up a little bit. And so for him, that just means it's another shot to really read the pitch that he is coming for him.
I was so excited for him and so excited for his debut. And I am so excited for the debut of this next guy. You briefly mentioned him, but I have been waiting for a while because I am a big fan of his. Gunnar Henderson has gotten the call to the big leagues. Melanie, what can people expect from Gunnar Henderson?
I mean, first of all, I felt like you guys knew something because you picked like the biggest news day for the Orioles that we've had since Adleys call up at this point. So I'll have to call you next time I need to know something. But no, and I went to Troy. And so I have a lot of friends who grew up in Selma, Alabama. My phone has been going off the hook. Everybody is so excited because they know the Henderson family very well. And this is somebody who they are very excited for, who ultimately deserves this. And if you ask about this kid's work ethic, all you need to know is his big signing bonus purchase was building a batting cage. He didn't get a fancy car. He didn't go out and buy a big house. He built an indoor batting cage in his backyard because it rains too much in the winter in Selma. He's a level head, and he has dealt very well with the fact that they have played him all across that infield. And he just takes it day by day. He's got a really good IQ when it comes to reading defensively what's going on. I thought for sure we'd see a little bit of a struggle as he moved position to position. And even this week, he was supposed to go play second for 2 days and then move over to first. And it was no problem for him because, again, they've gone and done the due diligence to find kids that have good work ethic, that have a good character makeup behind them. And I think the fact that the game is really starting to actually pay attention to that should tell us how good things are going to get over time, because it does matter. You can have some of the best players on a team. We've seen several this year, but if the chemistry isn't there, it's not going to matter because they're not going to have that body language on the field with each other. It's not going to relate to wins. And for Gunnar Henderson, I mean, he gets good reads. We just mentioned that his philosophy on what he does at the plate is just to stick to yourself. He said, if you slow your game down, that's when you get to speed up everybody else. You actually get those better hits. And so he's not going to be pressed when he steps up to the plate. And again, they're going to throw him anywhere and he's just going to say, okay, give me the right glove, and he'll be there. So curious to see where he ends up. Of course, they optioned Tyler Nevin in his place, who had been primarily at third, but with Ramon Urias fully healthy, you start to ask, where do we fit all of these young, really good kids? Because there are so many of them. And the crazy thing is there's still more right at the doorsteps.
Yeah. There are so many young, really good talents. And like you said, it's still the top farm system in baseball. It is wild. The future, I don't even want to say the future is now for the Orioles. And that's what's exciting about this, is the future is still to come. The potential is there. It's full of a bunch of young studs. Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.